Welcome to Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush.
And welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. I'm actor Brandon Rush. I've been in 77 TV shows and movies, and you all have definitely seen me in something before. Right now, we are sitting at 7.2 million listeners and viewers in 17 countries and on 6 continents. So we are doing very well. As I was saying, I'm actor Brandon Rush. If this is your first time tuning in, and you guys have definitely seen me in projects before. I've worked with legendary director Clint Eastwood before, and I have stripped for Betty White before. I love me some Betty White, by the way, and I love me some Clint too. Recently, just finished working on a second project with Tyler Perry, which is an incredible director. And I recently shot a movie with Julia Stiles. So things are going very well. If you're wondering why I am dressed like this is actually my 24 Legacy shirt, because I was in that, 24 from Keith Sutherland. That is because I am constantly, I'm auditioning a lot right now, which I really appreciate. I'm doing 2 to 3 auditions a day. I'm in a callbacks for a bunch of movies in United Kingdom and the United States. So I've been very blessed to work all over the place. New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Atlanta, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Virginia, South Carolina, in Mexico, and then soon to be the United Kingdom. So I am constantly auditioning. So when we're not doing episodes, which we're shooting, we've done 87 episodes so far, which I'm excited about, with people all from around the world. It's not just people from my movie business, it is everyday people as well, because that is important to me and important to my mom as well, as guests that we had know or guests that we have met along our journey, since I spent 3 years in the airport flying around the United States for auditions or going to work in different states. I have met people in Mexico. I've met people from all around the world. We're happy to have them on here. Also, my father, David Smith, who tragically passed of pancreatic cancer, but was my absolute world, just like my mom is my absolute world, and so is my nephew Mace. Um, there were nurses that helped out my dad when he was battling pancreatic cancer for 18 months at stage 4. And another part of the show is dedicated to the nurses and the medical community that helped my dad out during that time, during which I actually gave up my career for 18 months to move back to Virginia and take care of my dad, which I would do again in a heartbeat because that time was so precious. So I'm making sure that all these, part of what I'm doing is to bring honor to his name, bring honor to my mom, who's amazing, who everyone loves as well, and then my nephew Mason, and to those special people in the medical community that nurses do so much, and respiratory therapists. And I just wanted them to be able to have a platform, plus all the casting community. I've had amazing casting associates and casting directors on the Buckle Up podcast who I would not be where I am today without them. I thank my amazing team as well, and the incredible directors, writers, producers, and the crews that I've worked with that are absolutely phenomenal. A bunch of them are coming on here, and the cast as well. So we're excited for the people that we have had on here. We're also taking on sponsors. I do like drinking Mountain Dew. It's quite delicious. It's going to be my drink of choice for today. And I'm also drinking some water as well. So we have a guest coming on. I'm going to log over to him and Jackson Knox today. And we're looking forward to hearing his story. All right, people, give me 1 second. And we're back. It looks like we're going to be a few more minutes, but I figured I'd take this time to show you all that right there. What does that say? That's 7,180,352, I believe, million views that we are receiving. I'll make sure that you guys can see that. We are a movement at the Buckle Up Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. But yeah, you can see our numbers right there. I got to attach my watch again. But yeah, I'm excited for what we're doing, and we continue to climb. And what makes this so special is the fact that we have people from around the world on the show. Everyone is welcome to come on here and tell their stories, because I feel that so many times that people don't often get this chance to have their stories told, which is one of the reasons why behind Buckle Up Podcast, everyone has a voice here. Because I know what it's like to not be able to tell your truth, to be able to share your story when it's all of us to make this world a better place. So therefore, I have people coming from on all walks of life, because I've been very blessed to meet people from all different walks of life that have made impacted my life for the better. And I'm sure that they have also impacted people within their lives. Oftentimes people have asked me, well, why me? Why did, some people say that they're nobody. And I don't believe that. I believe that everyone is someone in God's eyes. And with the platform and with how God has blessed my movie career to be as big as it is, But those 77 TV shows and movies, we have a platform for people to be able to come on and share their stories with us. My mom has an incredible story. My dad had an incredible story when he was alive, and that's where I use this to get a chance to tell that every once in a while and keep his memory alive, because that's the one thing that he did tell me before he passed, pancreatic cancer, is remember me. And I dedicated my life to making sure that I keep his memory alive and that he is never forgotten. And I know many people out there suffer from cancer, and there are ways and there is hope. And we at least want to help provide some hope, even if that's just encouragement. We had Dave Ballman on here who shared his own personal journey with cancer, and how he approaches that, or has approached that over the years that he has dealt with it. And yeah, we're happy. We're here to help. We all have to get through this together. It's and then I always say this, that no one's above the team. We're all same level, and these opportunities that we're getting are blessing, and we're using those to bless others. So I'm excited for everything. So I'm still waiting on this guest, but I figured I'd give you guys a few more minutes to, I guess, get to know me a little bit more. One of the things about me is I have actually worked in New York the last 8 years. We're actually on the anniversary of that. So I started my career off in Los Angeles, and I had done 19 TV shows and movies at that time in Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Miami. And then I decided that I wanted to establish my career in New York City, which has been the biggest blessing. And it actually falls in this week. A video came up of my dad taking me to the airport. I flew back to Virginia. I told my dad that I planned on going to New York, and there's a video of me and him, and he's driving me to the airport. And he's happy for me, because I've always loved New York. New York's always been home to me. And it took me 5 weeks to establish my career in New York City. I was doing open mic nights, and I ended up 5 casting directors and casting associates saw me, and they called me into audition on my 5th week in New York. And one of those shows was Blue Bloods, which I ended up playing Officer Danoon the last 5 years on Blue Bloods. I've absolutely loved that character. I've also done Ozark. I've done Power Book 2. Recently did FBI season 7, episode 10 Readout, which was a huge, huge hit. And yeah, I love working in New York. It's the best. I love working in Los Angeles too. I love working in Atlanta, New York. Oh man, they show me so much love down there. That's where I was filming with Tyler Perry recently again, and the movie I did with Julia Stiles. So love those areas, man. I'm just blessed to work all over. And I'm excited to get working in the United Kingdom. It's been a dream of mine, and my career is finally taking me to a place where we're able to work in the United Kingdom. So I'm very excited about that. And all those just going to come with that, and around the world. Sky's the limit. I always say clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. And I definitely mean that, because, clear eyes, you don't have to see the whole entire picture. But if you go full hearts, you believe in yourself and you go all out, you can't lose, no matter what. As long as you put that effort in there, if you're working towards something, then you can't lose. So, all right, let me see if my friend's back on yet. That was just a little slight more intermission in there between him coming on the camera. So we were about to have Jackson Knox of 724 Collective Group in New York City, Manhattan, about to come on. And so we're excited to have Jackson come on and talk about the events that they have going on, the private memberships and tours that they're able to do of the facility. If you would like to check out their Instagram, it is 724 Collective. Yeah, just like it's spelled. But I'll spell it for you. That's SEVEN 24 COLLECTIVE. That's 724 Collective. Our Instagram handle is Brandon Rush with 2 H's. So that's BRANDONRUSHH. That's Brandon Rush with 2 H's. And then our podcast channel for Instagram is Buckle Up Podcast. So that's the Buckle Up Podcast. BUCKLEUPPODCAST. Hopefully I spelled that right. So that's the Buckle Up Podcast. That is the Instagram page. We also have the Buckle Up Universe page. We have Buckle Up Son. We have Buckle Up Mom. We have Buckle Up Talk. We have Buckle Up Univ. Because we we also specialize in helping kids that are kind of figuring out their way with life, that are teens, that are thinking about going to college, thinking about going into the military, or going into the medical field, or having the military pay for college. We've had guests on from the Army and the Marines on so far, and the Navy, to go and talk about their journey of how several of them not used, but had the military pay for their college, which is an option available to people, which I know that's something that not many people know about. And then we've had people who in later years have decided to become nurses, which is extremely impressive. Even nurse practitioners, but people that have dedicated their life to being nurses have come on here to speak. So we've had people of all different walks of life on here to tell their story about what they did. One of my dear friends, Ed Maddox, was on here with Amazon. He also worked he's with Netflix, but he worked at Amazon. But he tells that whole entire process for any big tech people out there. He goes into deep detail about that. So yeah. And if you would like to be on the show, as I said, feel free to DM me on Instagram or DM me on the Buckle Up Podcast page. Someone from my production company that runs that handle will get back in contact with you. But you all are welcome to write in and see if we can have you all as guests. All right, Mom, you got to turn your microphone on.
Mama Rush.
Yeah, she's gonna be using her picture today, Jax.
All right, cool.
No, ma'am, I can't. Your sound is off. Jax, good to see you, brother. How you doing?
Yo, it's great to see you, my guy. We're living well.
Oh, yeah, man, it's good to see you too. We're glad to finally
Mama
have
Rush. Mama Rush.
Look at my other son, Jackson.
Hi, Queen. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Mama Rush is doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing well too, my lady. I'm doing very well. I miss your boy. I miss you and your boy. I'll tell you that though.
Oh wow.
We miss you too, man.
You'll be seeing him soon.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm ready for the Zoom to be more of a personal, you know?
Oh yeah, man, I'm ready for New York, brother. It's that time.
It's that time. Except it was really sunny today. We were dealing with like 85 degrees weather, and 5 minutes ago it just started pouring raining out of nowhere.
Oh, hey, that's New York for you.
I'm learning New York. Yeah,
man, but it's the best place out. I don't care. To me, it's the best city in the world. That's just my personal opinion.
It is. Well, you know, I'm a West Coast guy.
Yeah,
so
I know you're
hating on that concept, and now I am biting my words.
Yeah.
More than anything. I'm regretful we didn't do this sooner.
Hey, it's all right, man. We're here now. You know, Lord has his time, and so we have that go on for us. But Jackson,
I'm listening into the blessings finally, and you know, I'm finally I cleared out my ears just for God's judgment, and it's making sense these days. I'll tell you that.
Hey, amen, man. That's the thing. You know, my mom always says, if you can't pull yourself out of a situation, God will pull you out for you. And, you know, you might be denying yourself that blessing sometimes too, but you are blessed. You're a good man. You've been one of my best friends in the world, like a brother to me. Truly family out.
Yeah, you know you're my fam. Yo,
yeah.
Mama Rush holding us down.
Yeah. Well, I am going to ask after you get started and tell us about everything about what's going on with you. I want to make sure, how's your mother? How your mother's doing?
Great. Mother's doing great. Fam is doing phenomenally. They escaped all the fires and all the drama that LA was a little bit, but we're all blessed to be alive.
Great. I wanted to make sure of that. And how is your beautiful son?
My beautiful son is doing phenomenally. He's finally learning how to say no, and that personality is coming out. So yeah, you can imagine that when that personality comes out, and you just, you know, you're arguing with your own face. It just it makes you happy inside while you're just frustrated. So it's fatherhood. It's fatherhood. It's parenthood, as you know.
Really, that is parenthood. That truly is. Well, Brandon, I'm going to give the floor to you, but I'll be here to ask a few questions as we go along, Jackson.
Please.
Yeah. Well, Jackson, look, welcome to the Buckle Up Podcast universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. We have 7.2 million /viewers and listeners in 16 countries. 17 countries. 17 countries.
What? Let's
17
go,
countries.
baby.
Yeah, man. And then we're on 6 continents, so we're worldwide, man.
Good to hear, man. I knew you were gonna kill it. We know that. Anything
Absolutely.
You sign up for, we know that.
Yeah, but let's talk about you, Jackson. Jackson, you with us? You said 724 Collective. Let's hear all about. Well, we're gonna hear your story too.
Yeah,
we're gonna hear about your company. But
I mean,
Let's talk about you.
724 Collective, it's brand new. We do come from the private members club aspect. So very similar to the Soho houses, the San Vicente bungalows. And with that, selling's been relatively hard just because Soho House exists everywhere. It's in every major city, and even in the major cities that it's not in, they have a digital presence. So we're competing with that. And in doing so, I found my calling moving here to the East Coast. I think my boss was under the impression that, sales would come relatively easy for me because I did fill up, the Soho houses and the San Vicentes. So when I came over here about 3 months ago, still new to the East Coast, of course, I wanted to make, New York a small place, which isn't a very easy thing to do, but I know I'm more than capable of doing it. And the way I do it is I go meet every person, all shapes, sizes. I welcome just about everybody. And I just like to pick people's brains because I am noticing there's quite a bit of transplants here. And transplants coming in, they all offer different stories. My goal is to add their story, their DNA to 724 Collective. So what 724 Collective is a social club right in the midst of, Chelsea, Manhattan. So we have prime real estate. We have a pool that's packed right now. We got a DJ up there. We have a bowling alley that's secluded down in like the dungeon, if you will. We have a club space, dance floor, karaoke room. We just had Wyclef, Lauryn Hill holding it down in the karaoke room. They just did a set for my members. My members started doing karaoke with them. I mean, no one really goes on the mic after Lauryn Hill, but but yeah, she shut the place down in a great way. And what I'm loving is we in this world of all these private members clubs, we were able to be able to be 65% female. We're also able to be 62% Black, which is actually tougher than you can imagine in Manhattan, New York. A lot of young money isn't Black just yet. A lot of old money isn't just Black yet. So my goal is to get the Black community to trust me a little bit more than, they've been led on to believe here, specifically in Chelsea. Creating all these relationships. Anytime I do sales, it's not about sales, it's about the relationship. And if I can point them in the right direction, then I'm going to be friends with them forever. It's less important about the physical club and more about who I am as a person, keeping up with my clients. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Jackson, let me interject one thing here. First off, I know that you're more than capable of getting everybody because I saw what you did in Los Angeles, which is beyond impressive. And I've seen that we've been boys since 2017, that Halloween when you were the Warriors and I was like the Aztec guy, Egyptian god.
But that's right. If you can drop that photo in here, you better.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have literally been able, I've seen you. The one thing I always thought was incredible about you, Jackson, no matter where we went, everybody knew you. We were able to get into every single club, bar, or anything because people knew who you were, Jackson. You were always able to pull the strings where we never had to wait. It was you already had that established because people like you because you're a good person. And people just based off of your character alone, that's why people gravitate towards you. And that's why you've been so successful in these different avenues. Jackson, one thing I'm going to do early is what is the handle that people can reach you at? I'm going to say that first.
Absolutely. Yes. So it's Jackson, JACKSON at 724. It's SEVEN 2 collective COLLECTIVE.com.
Okay.
And the best way, that's my personal, that email goes right to me. And actually, once people reach out via email, I'll actually just hand over my personal contact because I do like to build those, more organic relationships. I'm also a texter. So that's kind of how I get it down. Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a texter. You could have fooled me, so my messages don't go
through. Brandon, you are allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that.
But I know when it comes to your clients, I know that you're on it. Like you're always working. I appreciate.
Well, that's the funniest part is like even you telling me right now, and you're definitely someone who could speak to this. Is that I'm not great about texting anymore because you're busy. I have 500 plus clients that are always texting me. They're like, I'm stuck at LAX. I need a ride. Or, we need access to your new Hudson Valley location. I'm like, and at some point when I'm away from work, it is all about my son. It's all about the fam. So I'm so honored to not have anything to do with my phone sometimes outside of work. So I apologize about.
No, you don't apologize for. I completely understand.
You know what I mean? So part of my work is my phone. So I'm happy to always put that down.
Well, I understand that, Jackson. I was just messing with the phone thing because I know you are busy. Like when you're busy and you're working, you don't have time to answer your phone. Or you might, I know you're so busy getting hit up by people that you might see a message, look past it because you're doing work. I do the same thing with my auditions and whatnot. So I understand firsthand.
Well, the crazier part is too, I mean, I go out to meet people and people are under the impression, hey, Jackson's out partying. No, I'm not. I am networking my butt off. I am making sure that everyone is taken care of. If I can take care of someone else in another establishment, I've also won that client. So it's a lot like people think, people try to act like they're too cool for school to, help with reservations, to help with service, etc. No, it's not. It's going to go such a long way when you turn into these people's personal assistant. I'm their assistants for life.
Absolutely.
Trustworthy thing. So, and
that's right.
that goes both ways,
Yeah, it does. Jackson, one thing you said was that you were helping people with some of the services. If you wouldn't mind telling people that could be potential members, or that I heard you mention the fact that, hey, this person said they were stuck at the airport. You helped out with being. So just tell about some of the services that, or some things you can help with. Just
something really cool, are app friendly, and it's so tough to be app friendly in the private member space. However, our owner, Sean and Michael, they have absolutely killed it in the sense of we offer a concierge service within the app. So we have 4 restaurants on property. Let's say you don't want one of our cuisines or restaurants. You message that concierge service and we'll point you in the right direction. It doesn't have, with respects to all of New York, honestly, with respects to the world, because we do have members worldwide. A lot of them are high profile clients, so some of them might need, A-list walk-ins, or, if we're missing comedy nights, we'll have the Marlon Wayans is performing and such. So people will look for that more intimate space. The services I add are, to be honest, I sit down with people and need to know their services. For example, I had another comedian up and coming, and now she's gonna she's gonna host with Marlon Wayans.
So nice.
All I had to do was connect them. I just wanted them to meet. I like when people meet organically. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. So, luckily we have 4 bars. Liquid courage is a very real thing. If I can also bring them into other people's events to pull the pressure off of them, that's my goal. Pull pressure off of people while still communicating that it's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable. We got to be uncomfortable sometimes to get comfortable. Those conversations. I know, what's so funny? I think about you when I say this to people. Like you are so good, Brandon, at like being in those awkward situations and pulling yourself out. I still have not mastered that. That's a tool. It's a superpower, man. It's a superpower.
I appreciate it. Well, hey, you got it down anyway. You're still doing it, but you're capable of doing it, and you believe in yourself, and I believe in you too. So I know you're able to do it.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's a superpower that I'm still trying to develop.
You got it.
You say that,
yeah.
All right, Hulk. You still the Hulk, man. I'm trying to get the Hulk level. That's right.
Jackson, what you were saying was the reason I pointed that, because my mom always says one of her main, she has all kinds of great quotes and knowledge. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And Mom, you're welcome to explain that a little bit as well.
Yeah. One thing I've always thought about, Jackson, if I have mastered anything I've done, any job I've gone into, and I feel that the job, I'm comfortable at a point in that job, and then I feel that I'm no longer making a difference for them nor for myself, and so therefore I have to get out of that comfort zone, get to the uncomfortable zone again, whereby I benefit, I learn, and also I add to whatever that organization is for them to continue to be great. So that is what I've always felt. And sometimes when I have made my mind up, as I told Brandon, and I've said to the Lord, I've just spoken to him, I said, listen, I need your assistance. I need to get out of this, or I need to stay in this, or I need to make a change within that organization. And if I do not follow through after the Lord has agreed with me to do it, he will take me down whereby I have to get out of it. And for example, I hurt my back and I didn't know my back was hurt. And I was thinking about going back, and I used to be a pharmaceutical sales specialist. And I said, you know what, Lord, I am not happy doing this anymore. And I said, but I'm going to go back just whatever. And the Lord said, no, you aren't. And so that morning I got up the next morning and I could not walk, Jackson. I was walking around like a little old lady, had 5 discs that I had no clue. And so with that, it was just something. It was a process. But I thank the Lord for being there for me. And with all of that, making you uncomfortable, getting you comfortable again, comfortable, then back to uncomfortable. You understand? So you continue to impact. Yeah, you continue to impact society that way. You impact your life and you impact theirs as well.
Amen.
So that's it on that.
Dude,
and then
I couldn't agree more.
Jackson, why I think that one like 724 Collective they're very blessed to have you, because I've known you for so many years and I've seen what you were capable of and the groups of people. You were a person who's able to have a melting pot. Even when mom and I didn't have a place to go for Thanksgiving, you invited
That's
us to spend
correct.
Thanksgiving with you and your moms, and it was all those people. It was a family, even though it was a friends giving, it was a family giving, and like you opened up your doors to so many people. That's why I can literally vouch for the fact that you have friends from all walks of life, which is why you being at 724 Collective, I think they have the perfect person on their hand. I know you personally, but I know I've seen what you can do and how much you make a difference with all these companies that you did in LA. That you were always making. You're not only were you helping their businesses, you were helping out other businesses just by showing up
Always
and
my
bringing
goal.
your group of friends from everywhere. So
There's
they
no reason
found the
to be
right one.
jealous
Yeah.
these days. I've noticed like
None.
businesses get really jealous of each other. People get really jealous of each other. That's such a silly thing these days.
Yeah, it really is.
We're all working for the same thing, and if we work together, eventually,
That's correct.
down the road, we'll get there. We can all
Mhm.
look at each other and back each other up and
Yeah.
speak each other's weaknesses
Yeah.
better and help each other tools. It's the ecosystem that we want to be a part of. That we're not there yet,
Yeah.
but we'll get there.
But
Well,
Jackson,
Jackson, your heart's in the right place. Sorry.
yeah, Jackson, I know you will get there. I know
Yeah.
you're already there. The first time I met you, when I walked into your parents' home, you just looked at me and made me feel like, wow, LA is something. I mean, the people, you just made me feel so at
Oh,
home and
that makes me
welcome
happy.
me into your beautiful spaces, which I love so much. And your mother took me out back to pick oranges and everything. And
Right.
that just made me feel, it was oranges I picked, or yeah,
Yep.
oranges.
Oranges
Which
and
oranges?
lemons.
Lemons.
Oranges and
Yes,
lemons.
lemons,
That's what you
oranges.
got.
And I think that was so fascinating for me because that's the first time I'd ever seen, being from the East Coast, seeing lemons grow on a tree.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was my first time.
Yeah,
Actually,
actually, yeah, me
this
too.
I didn't
and
know that.
so
Yeah.
it just was so, you were so kind, your family just so welcoming, and our table, it was just so beautiful,
It
that
was a
long
beautiful
table
day.
in your mother's backyard with
Yes.
all of the different foods there. I
Mm.
just will be so grateful to you. But I want you to tell us a little bit about LA versus your now New York life, and how you grew such a big business out there in LA, and now you are moving that same process to building up that hot spot where you are there in New York. I know that's like a double fold question,
No,
but
that's a
you can
beautiful
break it up and answer it if you don't mind.
that's a beautiful thing. I've noticed, people, no one can afford anything these days. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. I mean,
Seriously.
the rent, I mean, we're paying for oxygen at this point, and no one can pay for anything. And
Mhm,
in this midst of everyone trying to afford different stuff, we do
mhm,
have a membership that does come with a cost. It does come with a fee. But my goal is for someone to get something out of it where they can
mhm,
benefit, where they might get paid, where they might find the career of their dreams. I might
mhm,
put them in, hands with their next future boss. So my goal is I need people to trust me, and moving here to New York, I'm honest and I'm completely honest with people. It was tough for me to even look at rent prices. I was blown
mhm,
away. And in Los Angeles, they say, the cost of living is relatively high. Well, the cost
mhm.
of living out here is double that.
Oh,
So
wow.
my goal is to sit down with people and have us both have an understanding of we both want to help each other out.
Yeah.
I'm not here to
Mhm,
take your money. So my goal, similar to Los Angeles out here, and I'm still the new
mhm.
kid. So, and you already know I'm an extrovert. So I will go up to just about anybody. I'll start
Anybody.
that conversation. I will
I
go up
can
to
see that.
everybody and anybody. And that's kind of it's a superpower, but it's also something that I don't think a lot of people take advantage of in this day and age
Mhm,
because they're so nervous or, I actually like to rehearse. I go through rehearsals constantly in my head of what a conversation might
hmm,
be like. I also do this thing where, I dive into who they are, just so I can answer just about everything. But I still consider it like an organic conversation because I'll go to, their
mhm,
LinkedIn's or their Instagrams, and then I'll find their sisters and their brothers and where they went to college. And then I'll just be able to speak on that. And people think, they can't do that. I don't think
mhm,
people ever realize how great a rehearsal is before living your life. Our lives are all rehearsed.
mhm,
Um, people have been there, done that when it comes to our own lives. So it's really nice to
mhm,
take notes from others. everyone wants you to listen to their stories, but no one wants to listen these days. I'm more than happy to listen because I can still apply that knowledge to
Mm-hmm.
the things I don't have, the things I might have. So I am
Mm-hmm.
always getting better. Back to what you said, Mama Rush, about, if you get too comfortable in, all walks of life, God's going to come and test you, and he's going to come and let you know
Mm-hmm.
that you got your feet up too high.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to always meet those people who are always trying to work on themselves, always trying to get better, because, no one's Superman besides Brandon, your son, of course.
Nah.
But,
Clark Kent.
we are Clark Kent. We always got stuff to work on, and the sooner people realize that, that's the superpower on its own. So duplicating Los Angeles to New York has been it's been easy because I already had the tools. I already
Mm-hmm.
have some of the do's and don'ts, and I'm willing to make so many mistakes because I'm so cool being uncomfortable. I think of
Mm-hmm.
my son, if expectations aren't met with salary, I just have to
Mm-hmm.
think about my son. If I
Mm-hmm.
if the work day, I'm supposed to be having a 10-hour day to about a 15-hour day, all I got to do is think about my son.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to think about everything at home. And I wake up. I wake up immediately. So it's been
Oh,
an
wow.
easy transition because of my son, to be totally honest.
Well, that's great. And you're natural, you're authentic.
Yeah.
You do not, the authenticity, I always have a trouble with that. But anyway, being real, that's just the
Yeah.
easy way
I
to say it. Being real, that's what you are. Being a natural, that's what you are. And I can see why you all gravitated to each other, because that,
Immediately, Brandon and I hit it off.
Yeah, like that.
Oh my gosh. Like the
For the
energy
first
was
time.
just like, whoa, 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 whoa. I know. It could be
Yeah.
overwhelming for other people too. When we meet them at the same time, they're like, whoa. And we're like, all right.
Comfortable, instantly comfortable though.
Comfortable, instantly
Yeah.
comfortable. And my goal is to make other people feel comfortable, which you're also really good at. So it's like, why can't we all just move similarly? Not the
Yeah,
same, because we're all different, but just
absolutely.
similar. We all have a similar goal.
Jackson,
the
you
thing I want, yeah,
oh,
go
sorry,
ahead,
go ahead.
Brian.
Oh
No.
no, Jackson, one thing I want to say about you being authentic, as I said, like for the moment you came over to my I had never met you. Gabe was like, hey Brandon, I want you to meet my friends. You guys came over, we did the Halloween at my old apartment in Los Angeles, and we instantly gravitated towards each other. Like it's like we've known each other for years. But
Yes.
it's because me being from the East Coast, I am an authentic person, but you also are a day one, well, at least raised in Los Angeles. So you've always had that authenticness to you too. And that's going to do so well for you in New York, because and I am a New Yorker at heart all the way through and through. That's why New Yorkers have
There
always
you
loved
are.
me. That's why we get
He
along so
loves
well.
New York.
But
I know it's in his DNA. I can tell.
it is. Yeah.
He lights
But-
up when he walks in that city. I've been with him, Jackson. He lights up. He gets
Yes.
bright. He gets as bright as those things and all that stuff in Times Square, the billboards and
Yeah.
all. He
As bright
lights
as
up
his
just
lights.
as bright as they are.
Yeah. But
That's because we expect you to be all over those billboards, sir.
oh, we will be, and we will be. I guarantee you
know.
that much.
I know.
But what I was saying with you, Jackson, being so authentic, that's going to do so well for you in New York, because New York people are about, well, there's still the day ones, New Yorkers in general, and I love them. That's what New York and New Jersey, they are the most authentic. And since college, those have been my best friends in the world. My godfather's Italian from Queens, New York, but they are some of the most authentic, realistic people. If you give it to them real, they'll like you instantly.
Absolutely.
Because they don't deal with any fakeness. And I love the fact that you were so authentic, so authentic in who you are, and unapologetic in who you are too.
These are some of my members too. Some of my fabulous members and teams.
Hey, I like
here.
hey, we have a pup segment too, so they might have to come on with their pup at some point.
But this is what 724 brings, and this is what we do, man. We just connect the dots. We have a phenomenal community over here, and still developing like this DNA. Like that's why I want you to be on the committee, Brandon, because your DNA is going to be included in this. And like your mom said, like when you get to New York, you light up. I kind of already know that about you.
Yeah.
That I know you're just going to light up, man. And being raised by the right crew, the right clientele. Mama Rush knows we were raised properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're raised, pardon me. When you're raised properly, conversations are easier.
Yep.
Whether you're comfortable or not, because there's always a way out of it, and there's always a way back into it. And our parents taught us and gave us the tools that either they did have or didn't have. Mama Rush might be able to speak more on this. Our parents they gave up their egos a long time ago, and you
Yeah.
can tell by how we were raised because
Yeah.
their problem solving tools, and it's such a cool thing. You know, I was raised and adopted by two women, what looked like two women raising me multiplied into four. So the boy with four moms being adopted, all four of them gave me a bit of them. They gave me the do's and don'ts, and unselfishly gave me the do's and don'ts. It's a little bit easier, you know, when it's kind of same sex, I will say, lesbians versus straight parents, etc. They have different tools. You know, my moms were bullied in the Air Force and couldn't do this and that. And you can imagine, you know, being lesbian in that time came with its own difficulties, but unapologetically, you know, they gave us, or me at least, all the tools to succeed. And they never look over their shoulder. They never ask me for anything. I want to give them the world, of course, but that's just because they raised me right. So
Yeah.
The love.
I'm so
I can
glad you
see
said
the
that.
love.
Yeah.
Oh, I am too. The love. I can see the love that your parents have given you, and just wonderful. Look how you've just grown it to be such a fine young man.
Yeah, they should be
appreciate
proud,
that.
Jackson.
I
I know they are
appreciate
proud. I
that.
can tell you they're proud. I know that for a fact.
I appreciate that. I want to make my son proud too. That's the goal, right? Is like also with that, emotions plays a huge role in my day to day, and no one realizes that. I have no problem showing emotions. I think it's actually also a superpower when I can show my son, you know, feel free to cry right now, but also tighten up and make sure you get the work done. I don't care about tears. That's fine. Tears can actually help you perform better sometimes.
Yeah, they can.
So yeah, just, you know, get uncomfortable being comfortable.
But what I love about your mothers is that they adopted Black sons and made you so strong because they had a love that supersedes race, identity. Just that love that God wants us all to have for each other. And I just see how I just can't get over your brother as well, and how they just poured their talents into you both. And so I want the listeners out there, the viewers out there, to know this. And so looking at you now, look how you're making a difference with not only LA, California, but now you're in New York and you're making a difference there with people. And tell me a few things of how you continue to build that strong relationship with others. I want to know that from you, Jackson.
It's a point of I gotta listen to everybody. Just because, you know, I just because my resume says, you know, I have this and that completed doesn't mean I have the knowledge. And in order to, you know, learn, I have to sit down with people. I am becoming people's therapist. So, you know, I can't forget about my own therapy because we all need it. But
That's true.
It's a beautiful thing sitting down with someone and just listening. It's kind of a lost art is you know, when you sit down with some, specifically some of these older New York styled folks, they are brilliant. They are so much more knowledgeable than my cell phone could ever tell. They were at the parties, you know, they could give me specifics about the way of the land. They can tell me the artists who used to be in the area. They can tell me the up and coming businesses. They can tell me the ones that are going to last. They're going to tell me the ones that aren't going to last. So the more people I meet, the more knowledge I'm intaking because I am closing my mouth and just listening. If I can build an organic relationship that way, you know, I am a salesman, but my goal with sales is never sell. Just make your relationship, check on the family, get to know everybody, and the sales comes on its own.
That is so key, such a key. Those are some pearls that you're actually throwing out there. But there's one thing you did mention earlier, that trust. That trust factor. People have to believe in you. And that means that they trust you now to tell their stories to you. And that's called that relationship building that I always felt when I would call on physicians and specialists. I always felt they trusted me to give them the right information. And I see why this club is going to be, not club, but collective, 724 collective is going to continue to be successful. I'd never heard of them. How long have they been in existence? You know, I will go back and forth with you when I ask questions. So I'll hit on family, but then I'll go to your work life too. And so tell us a little bit more. How long has 724 collective been around? And the different types of, I think I saw a map of how big the square footage, or you have different parts of that. So go ahead and explain a little bit about that.
So funny enough, 724, the name came from the owners. Their birthday is on 724 and they're business
Oh,
partners.
oh
So
wow.
friends,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
best friends
Mhm.
at birth, I'm telling you. Sean is a great gentleman, as well as Michael. And the funniest thing, and I'm brutally honest, I think that's how people end up trusting me is because I
Mhm.
tell it like it is. I have
Mhm.
two white bosses and
Mhm.
they support me and have put so much trust into me that it has confused me at times just because of the
Mhm.
reputation that almost comes with, even private members clubs don't get the best rep. But over
Mhm.
here
Yeah.
we have four different restaurants, they all hold A's in the windows. We opened only about 10 months ago, which
Oh, okay.
is really relatively new. However, we operate out of the Gansevoort Hotel, which has been here since 2004.
Mhm.
So we have Banksy artwork featured all over the hotel as well as the club space. But we've only been open for 10 months, and in those 10 months, we've managed to add 535 members, which
Oh,
Amazing.
great.
we're really proud about. We're only going to accept another 200 before
Oh.
our Houston location opens. So yeah, Hudson Valley is on schedule to open 2026. That's going to feature like a winery, a wellness center, as well as a podcast input. And I want
Mhm.
actually, Brandon, I want you to take over that, which is
Hey
why
man, sounds good.
you're going to run this podcast action for me, my
That
man.
sounds good to me.
It's going to be a beautiful thing, but
Yeah.
it's just a matter of getting it's just a matter of listening.
Mhm.
Trust goes both ways. So I also want to trust these individuals that they're not going to come up into the space and disrespect anyone else or disrespect our food, our management team. Our
Yeah.
staff works their butts off. If I'm doing a 10-hour day, it typically means the servers are doing about 12 hours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I have a high respect. I've never been too cool to, clean a bathroom, bus tables, take orders. And in doing that, that's built trust and respect amongst
Mhm.
staff where, they're like, hey, Jackson might be wearing a suit today, but he just went and cleaned the entire bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
who does
Mhm.
that? Who does that
Mhm.
on his salary? But it's like, I'm fine doing that. I'm proud to do that because my team also rolls up their sleeves and they get down in the dirty when they don't need to.
Yeah.
So it's a collective over here. See what I did there? A collective.
Yeah, that was good.
724, it's a collective. That's
Yeah.
what we
Jackson,
are.
I wanted to say that a couple things here, man. One, I actually in the summer of 2008, I believe it was 2007, I actually worked catering service in New York City at all these private events. So I know for a whole entire summer,
Were you
four
at the
months.
Gansevoort?
No, I don't remember the Gansevoort. I don't. At least I might not remember being there at the time, but I
Huh.
was literally all over New York, even Long Island, doing these black tie events. That's one thing that always got to have respect for the staff that prepares those
Always,
meals in the long hours because I know what that's like
100%.
firsthand.
Oh my
But
God, it's
I
not.
also want. Sorry.
All right. There's also something nice about like going to war, like looking over and your colleagues are dripping sweat and you guys are
Yeah.
like, you guys might be arguing a little bit, but you're putting out fires and you're just you're existing together and you get through that hardship. The next day we look at each other and it's family. It's
Yeah.
like it's a trusted family too. It's like I got you. I was angry. I had to go home and cry in the shower,
Yeah.
whatever. But we come back. We always come back home to the family. Always come back.
Absolutely. No one's above the team or the family. Jackson, I also wanted to say, invite your bosses are welcome to come on here and speak because I love to have their stories as well.
They're running around upstairs right now,
They
putting
did
out
have me today.
fires currently.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna set you up with them because they are very interested in doing this.
Okay.
They could also speak a little bit more on kind of what I don't see, what some of the members don't see, and what they're willing to share.
Yeah.
Sean and Michael, they put this property together, and then I want to say like, we did the Dave Chappelle party here, which got a lot of.
Mhm.
We did the Jeff Ross party here.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Did Tiffany Haddish part. It just depends on what's going on. And it's so funny because you look at our Instagram and all the parties that they're throwing are as Black celebrities. So I
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
really confused why these wonderful white owners,
Mhm.
in the title, they
Yeah.
are the owners and we call them the
Mhm.
owners and they hate when we call them the owners.
Yeah. They're down to
Mhm.
earth.
I love that my white
Mhm.
bosses hate when we call them the owners. I
Yeah.
look over across the table and they are bussing tables. They are taking orders. They are here
Mhm.
every day. They are so proud. They do not judge anybody. And my
Yeah.
DNA goes hand in hand with them as well as the
Oh,
club.
this is great.
And I like them already.
You know what I
And
mean?
then
I'm not working right now. This is smiles for a reason. I come into work so happy to work.
Yeah.
I'm
that
happy
is
about
what
my
I'm
10
talking.
hours. And I've never really had that, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I am so glad that they have that for you because they've made this your career continue.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you treat everybody right in any organization, you have built that organization up. You go out, for instance, you're here on this podcast talking to over 7 million people, our viewers now, telling them how you can have a position within a company and be happy to help assist help assist the growth of that company because of the way they treat you. And that's always so important. And I can see that you're happy. I can feel that spirit, Jackson, that you're very happy to be there. And I am excited about meeting those owners as well.
Yeah.
I used to just say my boss. And when your boss loves you like that and loves the people that they hire, you're going to do your best to make them number one. So I already know that 724 Collective is going to be the number one hot spot right there in Manhattan. Is that correct?
Couldn't have said it better, Mama Rush. Yes. Couldn't have said it better. Yeah.
There's a commercial hook right there.
Woo! You guys just got me pumped. It is exciting. It's really exciting. I'll do these 10-hour shifts and then my boss would be like, go ahead to this event. And I have a smile on my face and meeting these other clients. And it's a blessing also too, when I can connect clients to other clients and they're like, oh my God, Jackson, real estate was kind of taking a dive right now, but you introduced me to someone who bought, a 4.8 million. So now my family can eat and we owe you that. And, I'm doing a play date with some of these kids' parents and stuff like that. So it's a beautiful ecosystem to contribute to, and I'm gonna do this for as long as I can.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you too, Jackson. One of the things I said I love about New York, I was very blessed to work on Blue Bloods for 5 years in New York City as Officer Danoon. And we had on Siobhan O'Connor from Law and Order and Blue Bloods, who's one of the executive producers and writers. And then her son, Joe, who was my partner in the show. But what I loved about being on that set, which I'm going to relate this to you guys, is the fact that it was a family environment on that set. I'd never heard anyone, I was on that for 5 years. I never heard anyone yell. I never heard anyone cuss. It truly was a family environment. And I see that in a lot of in Atlanta, New Orleans, and New York is where I never heard any yelling, any cussing. It was always a family environment. But going back to New York with that being, I was so happy to come to work and I was so excited. And not just that, when my father passed away, Siobhan called me. They wrote me into another episode. And they asked me to come back because she had lost her father, but also she stopped the set that day I was there and talked to me as a mom and was trying to console me during that time. And that was I'm gonna bring Joe by, at least maybe Siobhan too, but she'll come. But and we're gonna have a lot of Blue Bloods cast coming are gonna be on the podcast.
All are welcome.
And they sound, thank you, Jackson. They sound a lot like the people that you said, Sean and Sean and Michael, they sound a lot like Sean and Michael, where it was Blue Bloods was a family atmosphere, just like 724 Collective is a family atmosphere.
So I'm always curious, Brandon, do you have to have short-term memory with that? Because my issue is I'm very emotional. So if I was on that set, once it ended, I'd be heartbroken. I'd be so sad that I'm not seeing these people again. Like, what's that like for you? I'm actually genuinely curious.
You mean like with that Blue Bloods, I'm still in contact. I still talk Joe literally from day one of being my partner. O'Connor was my partner from day one on, and everybody on that show I am still close with. So I still talk to them all the time. So it's that family. That family was something, not usually with all sets you go on. It's not always like that.
Right.
But with that set in general, your family outside of that and your family on set, they keep in contact with me. That's why, when Siobhan and Joe came on, they were happy to do it. I talked to Joe on the regular. So it's like, it truly was a family environment. When I saw them again, it wasn't skipping a beat. And for Siobhan, when she was there for me that day, because I was about to cry because my mom was the first one to take me to New York. She helped me get out of that emotional state because I literally, a week before, I just lost my dad. And so my memory was impacted for the first time. I'm usually able to memorize all that kind of stuff, but it was impacted because I had all those emotions. But my dad had died in real life, but my character's dad hadn't died.
Oh my gosh.
So I had outside things weighing in on me, but I couldn't have it in that world. So Siobhan talking to me like a mom, stopping the set and talking to me like a mom, that helped me calm my soul, and just having that mom figure there. And then I was able to do the work.
Right. Oh my God. That's a tough thing to separate you. I don't even know how you separate. That's why you're a professional. But
Thanks, brother.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me one thing, Jackson. How did you get into promoting clubs or working in that life? And when you were in college, I think Brandon said something, you played football or whatever. And
Yes. Yep.
just because Brandon walked onto the football team at Carolina,
Go
the spring
Gamecocks.
team, Gamecocks. And
Yeah, you
so
did.
tell me a little bit how that moved from that football life to what you're doing out there, what you started out there in California and that career path, and then where it's taking you now. I need to know
So
that.
I
So I'll tell you a
actually,
quick question.
funny enough, my degree was writing, which
Okay.
I'm honest with people. I never use it. I say I never use it, but of course we always use writing.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted a degree, so I just did writing. I did the easiest one I could find. Writing came relatively smooth and easy to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I always knew I wanted to write for others. I have a big voice, but I learned to put my voice in others appropriately because I didn't have all the tools to act and such. So I just became a writer. And in
Mm-hmm.
writing, of course, I needed to pay my bills. So I actually took a job at Soho House,
Mm-hmm.
working
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
receptionist for 2 months. It took me 2 months for me to learn. I wanted to learn every single person's name. I said I was embarrassed by my title, by my pay, by the fact that I had graduated, yet I wasn't being paid what I thought I would be paying. Real world
Mm-hmm.
hits, and us as students, children, whatever you want to call it, we have these unrealistic expectations of once I graduate, I'm the man. Since I have this degree, I'm going to be put in these positions. It's actually the opposite, and typically we're put into debt. So I was embarrassed. I took a long look at myself in the mirror and I said, I can change it. So
Mm-hmm.
I rolled up my sleeves. I did six to 7 day work weeks, which I knew was always going to pay off. And in 2 months, they actually moved me up to membership,
Wow.
and then moved me up. And then I opened up the downtown location,
Mm-hmm.
and I ran the Malibu location for Soho House. And I just fell in love with clients of private member clubs. I fell less in love with the actual club, the actual physical property. I realized
Mm-hmm.
the people, when I was doing tours and such, they were buying me. They were not buying the property.
Mm-hmm.
They were
I understand.
buying every part of my DNA, and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
them to always contribute their DNA. So it
Mm-hmm.
was always it was always a meant to be for private members clubs. It was less about
Mm-hmm.
any physical property, and it was more about, making sure my clients worldwide are taken care of.
Great. So
Absolutely.
what's so great about that? The customers that you have had out there in LA, are they still know you? If they ever move to, hey, y'all listening out there, everybody, I'm talking
That
to.
accent coming out.
If
Yep.
they
Yeah.
move to, Jackson is now in New York and he's with the 724 Collective. And
Mhm.
so they can, and a lot of people are moving from LA because of the fires,
Yep.
and they want to go to another big city like New York or down to Atlanta. And so with you being in New York, everybody out here, Jackson is in New York
Right.
now.
And I'm happy to take
So,
care of them because 3 months ago I was that new kid. I was a
yes.
little bit hesitant. I was a little bit worried.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always down to go grab coffee with someone. It doesn't even have to be at the physical property. I don't even need people to know me. People based off of this podcast, if they want to contact me and they're
Mm-hmm.
in the city and they're like, Jackson, I don't know what to do. Don't think that I can't give you an itinerary just because you're not a member just yet.
Yeah.
So what I
Oh,
mean by, it's not work for me. Just because I do it so often as well, I'm more than happy to connect people around New York and make New York small. New York can be an uncomfortable and intimidating place, especially if you're coming from the small town. Luckily, I came from LA, so it's
mm-hmm.
comparable. I say comparable though because New York is a completely different ballgame. It
Yeah.
Oh,
it is big buildings, it is big egos, it is big people. The fact that my boss sat me down and we were at eye level, I was very intimidated. He made me feel so comfortable day one. And that's my goal with anyone coming to New York, anyone
mm-hmm.
going anywhere. You don't even need to be in New York to contact me. You could be in Miami, you can be anywhere. I have pen pals all over the world. It's just nice I want to make the world as small as possible. That's my
Yeah.
goal. We got too many people in this world for us not to meet everyone.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Jackson, one other question.
Mhm.
Social clubs.
Mhm.
What's the difference between a social club, club,
Mhm.
private club? You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna
Club.
be honest. And I'm so honest, and this is as honest as I'm gonna be. I think social club means they need money. I think creative means they want to build a DNA with an
Mm-hmm.
ecosystem in a city. I
Mm-hmm.
think Club is someone who's established, typically older money. So the property already exists. They have the foot traffic in order to keep up with their bills, pay their rent. Anytime it's a social club right now, specifically, the only ones that stand a chance are San Vicente and Soho House. We
Mm-hmm.
are becoming a social club. And the reason why I say we're becoming is because we are trying to accept as many members that we can add organically, as well as still speaking to the ethos of the club. And it's a
Okay.
fine line. We have a wait list of 425, but we
Mm-hmm.
have 525 members. So it's such a dance while becoming a social club, while still respects to a creative club. I think it all
Mm-hmm.
pertains to money. Like I mentioned, it's less about the physical property. So even my boss is like, we are becoming a social club. I'm like, I don't care about that. We're just whatever these people need.
Yeah.
These people need a shoulder to cry on. So we're not a social club. We're a therapy house, or
Yeah.
they need more events. So, we're an event house. I don't like to, I don't like those dividers, because when you do become a social club, it means you're
Mm-hmm.
speaking to more of a specific clientele. I sell to
Mm-hmm.
everybody. I sell
Yeah.
all shapes and sizes. And when you become a social club, you're looking for more of the extroverts. That means introverts will stay away because you are interacting with members.
Yeah.
Quieter crowd likes to stick in the back. So I hate that term, even though I'm
I
expected
understand.
to use
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
with all respects to all social clubs. But there's so many different private members clubs popping up right now. And what we've done
Mm-hmm.
here at 724 is we're still able to hold our own ground, and we're still building a product that everyone seems to want.
Yeah.
So really fortunate in this club space. Clubs are closing all around us. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
scared. I'm
Yeah.
not scared close. We're not, my boss isn't even thinking about closing. We're opening up new locations.
That's
Hudson Valley
correct.
on schedule. So yeah, just to let you know where we're at, our company is not scared. We're
Yeah.
we're honored for the challenges that are going to present themselves, which is no one can afford their rent, let alone New York. So why
Yeah.
would they pay a membership of an average of $3,400 for the entire year? It just doesn't make sense. However, we offer a workspace. We have 4 restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
easy sushi restaurants, a Sheen. We have a pool. We have a gym that members can access
Oh, nice.
24/7. So whether it's
Mm-hmm.
1 a.m., 5 a.m., middle of the day, their key to the castle grants them access to a gym. With all that, also too, we have a bowling alley, we have a karaoke room, we have
Oh.
committed DJ club space, and then of course we have like the breakfast restaurants. We have the hotel, which our members receive 30% off the booking on behalf. So it really, I try to stay away from, where it's like social clubs, creative clubs, because it prevents you from selling to everybody.
Okay. Safety factor, and I know that concerns a lot of people, the safety within your company. And
Mhm.
so with that, I think that that's why people don't mind paying. I know when I was in college and talking about going to a club, I wouldn't go because I was afraid that something would break out, someone would get hurt.
Right.
And so that comes with, it comes with a price of, I feel secure in certain spaces. And it seems like at the 724 collective, I would feel just safe there.
Oh my God. You can only feel safe on this property. I mean, we do have security who makes their rounds, of course. We do have
Mhm.
A-list celebrities who are members, but I just want to point out that no one is above anybody else. So I say
Okay.
A-list just to give you guys a picture ID, but
Mhm.
no one is above anybody else.
Mhm.
The Lauren Hills and the Busta Rhymes is of our membership. They're in
Mhm.
the same tiers with my member Remy. Remy is a phenomenal woman. She's like top 10 in backgammon.
Oh,
Remy,
wow.
I'm gonna have her on this show too. She's
Oh,
incredible.
yeah.
But I'm
Absolutely.
so
Love it.
excited about all my members, and no one does any, no one's above anybody else. But I also want my
Mhm.
members so securely taken care of, because let's be honest, there's villains out there. So that's
Yeah.
all
Mhm.
my goal, to sit down and listen, to get to know the person. And then I also attach them with security. I do walk the floor with security ever so often, because I do
Great.
need that extra touch of security.
That's
Yeah.
good to know.
Also valet, anyone coming to the club, they actually communicate ahead of time so we can roll out the red carpet in the event that
Mhm.
they are being harassed by paparazzis outside, or,
Perfect.
ex-lovers. We've seen it all. We're more than happy to make sure they are securely taken care of.
Oh, great.
Absolutely.
That's
Jackson, I love the fact that and I know you got to probably got to go soon, but I want to say I love the fact that you love people's stories, because I love people. So you know that about me already. And that's why we've been so successful with this Buckle Up podcast, because we are getting people, the everyday people, who are coming on here and telling their stories, because a lot of times people don't get a chance to have their story told. They don't.
Right.
People learned all kinds of things about me. People learned all kinds of things about my mom. People didn't know I had an older brother named Travis Hales that we took him from the boys' home. That no one knew that I had an older brother named Travis.
Beautiful thing, man.
Yeah. And so, but everybody's been able to come on here and tell their stories. And from what I've been hearing back from the feedback from the guests that we've had on so far, is the fact that their families and their friends didn't even know all this. One of my Major Dave Ballman, who came on here and gave an amazing one that hit a million views. We had another million views the other day with Josh, the casting director, casting associate of Yellow Jackets. He was on here. He hit a million. But Dave Ballman, Major Dave Ballman, who's one of my best friends from college, his wife who's been married to, I think they've been married for at least 16 years. She had no idea half the stuff about Dave, but she found out on a podcast, and his was one of those that hit a million point, like 1.2 million. And so it's great that you guys, because we're boys and you already know this, we have the same mentality of getting people's stories is so important, because everyone has one. It's not about face value. It's about actually getting to know that person.
I'm sure everyone wants to just see celebrities on podcasts, but I mean, the stories that are really going places are the ones that are rolling up the sleeves right next to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Did see you had a little dog in there, so you have a space where people can bring their animals, their furry friends.
I'm so happy you brought that up. So yeah, we are dog friendly, just because in this new age, a lot of people have service animals. We just didn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. I know sometimes those conversations are really uncomfortable when it's like, hey, can you prove that they're a service animal? We don't judge by any means. We know the behavior of a service animal, of course, so we ask you to be respectful, even if you are kind of, breaking that loophole, because every dog is a service animal, but we also treat them like members, because they are part of the family. So we're always going to show, even the cats, all the animals, that's part of the family. And we also show that we're willing to take care of the family at home. We don't just take care of the member who's paying. We take.
Oh, great. So when they bring their furry friends to, you all have a place for their furry friends, or they can stay with the owner?
They can go anywhere on our property. They can go to any restaurant.
Great,
they can
to
by
know.
the pool. They can't get in the pool, of course. Yeah. And one place they can't go is the gym.
Okay.
Great.
Of course.
And do you have a menu for them? For instance, if someone state that they're bringing their cat, do you have a menu for animals?
We don't have a menu for animals. We do offer like water. We have treats and such. But we don't, just because I think health department would shut us down immediately if we started feeding animals. But we do take care of them in the sense of like, we'll run with them. They can be off of a leash as long as we trust them. We do allow as much freedom as possible, but we haven't made it to a dog or a cat menu yet. We might have to.
Oh, great. That's great to know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
a lot of great things are happening there.
It's amazing because a lot of my members don't realize I want them to also add to this ecosystem. So if they have DJ friends, I want them to bring me their DJ friends. If they DJ themselves, if they do yoga, if they do Pilates, etc. Because also I can make the experience a little bit cheaper on them if they're willing to contribute to our programming.
Yeah,
that's my goal, is to plug them into our network. If they have like good liquor sponsors or etc. I mean, we have good liquor sponsors in house. We're fortunate with that. So I'm more than happy to connect them so that they're in the right hands.
Great. I like hearing that, because I was going to ask, how do you decide on DJs, artists, themes for certain events, and how do you actually get that word out?
So these are a phenomenal tour.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going? I'm Brandon Rush, and this is Mama Rush.
I'm gonna have them on here too.
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce you to everybody, honestly.
That sounds good.
Sounds great.
But we typically we hire DJs based off of word of mouth, to be totally honest. So members will come in and they say, hey, I have this. The really cool part about my job or my team's job is if they go to a club down the street and they're like, this DJ was phenomenal, our job is to go get that DJ and bring them here. Really cool thing. And we're actually as aggressive as that sounds. If someone's like, hey, I need Marlon Wayans to go on, next week, my job is to get Marlon Wayans to go on next week. Always a goal. Sometimes we fall short of the goals, but as long as I can show the member that I worked my butt off to try to, contribute what they needed, it's usually a good day.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah. So absolutely. If any of you guys out there have DJ friends for New York, whatever that may be, Pilates friends, yoga, I'm trying to think of anything I'm not thinking
Probably
of.
salsa dancing too, Jackson. Probably dancing, like
Oh,
salsa
dance.
dancing.
That would
We
be
got
great.
dancing and
Dancing.
dimes frequently. We
Yeah.
salsa dance our butts off. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, that'd be a big one, especially for New York.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So if you got any ideas, or if your viewers or listeners do, man, I'm telling you, send it my way. I'm a
Absolutely
walking
will.
suggestion box, and that's what you also got to be in this day and age.
Yeah, yeah. As you said, Jackson, a walking suggestion box. We have one on the podcast, but because people are going to call them with questions, and obviously we're going to be doing this again, but people are going to call them with questions, and yeah, anything that I'll have you'll be all over my social media stuff. You're good there.
Brilliant.
But
Brilliant.
the questions definitely come in, man.
Well, also
one-
you're gonna join committee, so you're actually you're not gonna need me at some point. You're just gonna be like, this person's great fit, so then we're just gonna add them that way.
Hey, that works for me too. Even better.
You know what I mean? I got you.
Absolutely.
This
I know
is
you
a
do,
beautiful
brother.
thing. This is exciting, man. I'm
excited too. Because
This
like
is cool.
New York is my city, man. I know I can get around anywhere. I don't even need a phone to get around. That's how much I know New York, and that's how much I've worked there, and that's how much that city's in my DNA. But
Go ahead,
Mom.
Brandon. Finish up.
Oh no, but basically,
Okay.
getting there, Jackson, working with you guys, man, that's going to be easy.
Okay.
I know it is.
One final question I want to ask. You said you only have spaces for membership spaces for, you have right now 500 and I forget what that number is, but
525.
and you max that membership out at how many more spaces you have
We're
available?
probably gonna have like 200 to 300 more members that we're gonna bring on before our Hudson location opens.
All right, viewers, you have heard what Jackson said. This wonderful place. If you live in New York or you're going to that area, you need to look him up.
Absolutely.
Because 200 is a quick number to fill.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right.
so I have to say that because I know with this podcast how quickly we built up this business, this show, and so I know with that, Jackson, 200 be just a number that will, easily fill up now. So.
We
Jackson,
got 416 on our wait list, so you can imagine. But that's the idea, is that I do want people who want to be here or, feel like they're missing something. We're also not in the business of stealing people's money. If someone comes to me and they're like, Jackson, I'm struggling, I can't afford my rent, but I DJ, I'm gonna say, hey, come do a night with us. See if I can put you in the right hands. Come see if you can join this ecosystem. We'll worry about money down the road.
Absolutely.
Worry about money down the road. I want you guys taken care of because
Jack, one final question from me. Why is it a wait list when you have membership? You have 200 more spaces available.
So the idea is that we're not just trying to fill up the space. I've had people just apply without a tour. I don't want to do that to anybody, just in the sense that, we do expect a year contract. You do sign up. So in the event that, they aren't happy with the space, they're locked in for that year contract. I have people going bi-coastal, so probably out of that 416, to be totally honest, maybe 375 honestly haven't even been to the space. It's been more mouth. So I like to be honorable in the sense of I don't want them to pay for something they don't know about yet. Because they are locked in at that price for a year. So in the event that it's not what they thought it would be, word of mouth, that's a heartbreaking conversation.
Online, do you give a virtual tour?
I don't give a virtual tour posted online. However, when people connect with me, I accommodate their schedule. So in the event that they are, on the West Coast, Midwest, whatever that may be, I'm more than happy to give a walking tour. It's less of an organic touch, just because I like to truly get to know people face to face. But I've never been against a Zoom call or a phone call or, FaceTime. I just want to make sure I get the point across to them. And in order to do that, I need it to be a little bit more personal touch. But I'm more than happy to do Zoom tours. I'm more than happy to connect with people, even if I'm not on the property yet. I like to give out my personal number. I know a lot of people think that's weird, but I like to communicate with people to the point where we become work.
Great.
Touch,
personal touch.
A personal touch. So that's the idea of 416, because there are also a younger crowd we're noticing that wants to just get a membership just to go break bottles or spend this money or flaunt it. That's also probably what we're trying to stay away from, is those big shows that are gonna ruin our values.
I understand.
Jackson, my final question for you is this: does 724 Collective have any important events that you want to mention now that might be something that needs to?
We got poker night next Thursday. We have backgammon night, which is going to be run by Remy. So it's so funny about backgammon because I'm very unfamiliar with backgammon, to be
Okay.
honest. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. She has taught me to love it. My
Yeah.
partners have taught me to love it. So the following week we have a backgammon night. We got Marlon Wayans gonna do a set here in 3 weeks. I'm
Okay.
gonna invite people for that. We're also having a pride party on June 29th.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
The pool party as well as upstairs on our rooftop. I'm more than
Ooh.
happy to have guests who are non-members come and join us for a little activation.
Okay.
But besides that, I'm gonna wait on you to get your butt over here, man, to properly run.
Well, I'm gonna try and come up for that June one, man. That pool
Yes.
party. You know, I love pool parties, brother. So I think I'm gonna try and come up that June 28th to be there at least for that one.
That'd
Yeah,
be good for you, Brandon.
we'll fly you in. We'll put you in a little hotel, and then you'll just pop up to the rooftop for a little pool
Hey,
party.
that sounds good to me, man. Count me in.
Don't you forget Mama Rush, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'll
Scotching
come
too.
that time, that particular time, but I want to thank your owners,
Yeah,
your bosses for giving you this space and this time to talk with us.
Mhm.
You have been exceptional.
Absolutely, Jack.
They are so blessed, and their business is going to grow exponentially. Well, by
Exponential.
I'm
sorry,
that's
exponentially.
okay. Don't worry.
Exponentially.
It's
It's
Southern way. Just remember, it's going to expand. It's going to grow. And I know that. And I want to tell you, Jackson, they have found a diamond in you. And I know you found diamonds in them as well. And so with that, I appreciate you so much. And thank you for coming on, Brandon. I'm not telling
Jackson.
them cut off. I'm not telling them cut off. But
Oh, no. Yeah, Jackson, you've been great, brother. I know you're there, so I'll let you get back to it. But
this is fun, man. And I want you guys to know too, I don't care if nothing comes out of this. Connecting with y'all was the best part of my day. This was nice.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Oh, something's gonna come out of it.
I know.
Yeah. Jackson, you don't have to worry about that.
Positive word to the universe, because that's where I work on the universe platform. So, okay, great. Well, give everybody my love and your family, and you take care of yourself. Be safe, darling.
And Jackson, I just want to say this, man. There will be something come of it. When we started the Book Club Podcast Universe with Brandon Rush and Mom Rush, God let me know that we were going to take this thing far, and that's why we hit 1.2 million in 5 days. We hit 4.4 in 10, and then now, and then at a month, well, we're past a month now, a little bit past a month, but we're at 7.2 in 17 countries and 6 continents. So
let's go,
yeah.
So we're happy.
It's going to do the same thing for you, because you're my boy and I love you to death. We're family, and I know that the same thing you're doing, the same thing I'm doing with this, you're already doing it there at 724 Collective, and so we'll be a world united front here, I think.
Yes, let's rock, man.
Absolutely, man. I love you too, Jack. We'll give you a round of applause, buddy.
Thank you. Back at y'all.
Yeah.
Back at you.
Yeah. Jax, you're wonderful. It's a quick turnaround, brother. So I'll have the YouTube and I'll have the podcast station to you within the next 6 hours. But the Instagram part takes a little longer.
You the man.
Hey, working in TV, man. I do fast schedules.
Oh, Mama Rush.
Okay, love you, darling.
I love you, Jax.
Love y'all. Love y'all.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you will.
Excellent, friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Jax was wonderful.
Great job.